So, after the most recent round of Barclays Premier League fixtures, there has been another pretty big twist in the title race. So, now that this big twist has happened, it has really made, well, the whole title race a lot more interesting and much more open. So going into the final few months of the season, it should get very, very interesting. And I would say very, very unpredictable because, let's be honest, the Premier League is one of those leagues where there can be a shock result really every week. There isn't usually a shock result every week, but it is one of those leagues where a team at the bottom can beat a team near the top when you just least expect it. So yeah, going into the games where the plot twist was involved, to start with, it is Manchester City who face Leicester City, and really right from the off, Man City really seemed just like the dominant team, and then they did end up opening the scoring from a brilliant strike from Stones, and literally he just took the ball, stuck it, well, not literally in the top corner, but he stuck it more or less in the top corner. So really the best start Man City could have hoped for against Leicester, because Leicester are really one of those teams that they can cause an upset. They do have dangerous players like Maddison and Jamie Vardy. So going 1-0 up against them early on is really going to help. And then, just under 15 minutes in, Manchester City then got a penalty, which Haaland stuck away right in the bottom corner, like literally right in the bottom. You couldn't have got it more in the bottom corner, to be honest. And this put Man City 2-0 up inside the first 15 minutes. So really at this point they were just completely in control. They really were showing the experience. And when a team has won 4 or 5 league titles, you really kind of get this invaluable experience in big games where you need to win. And especially in this case when you literally need to win as many games as you can, because you're chasing the title at this point. So really just a perfect start. And then 25 minutes in, Kevin De Bruyne played a ball straight through to Haaland again, and he stuck it away. Nice little dink over the keeper to make it 3-0, which really at that point you just think City are going to run away with it and this is going to be a 4-5-0. However, not much really happened until the 75th minute, where a bit of sloppy defending from Man City allowed Iheanacho, a former Manchester City player, to pull a goal back in the 75th minute and make it 3-1. So really, I was surprised. I didn't think Man City would switch off like that, but they did, and it was a bit of sloppy defending. Obviously, they switched off and they were punished for it. However, towards the end of this game, there were a few chances squandered by Leicester by a couple of their players. So really, I think Man City are quite lucky that this didn't turn out to be a draw. This could have easily ended up 3-3. But some good saves from Ederson really did keep them in front, and Man City ended the match 3-1 ahead, 3-1 in front, winning the game, and they kept the pressure on Arsenal, which is really what everyone expected from them. It's just that at the end, their defending seemed a bit all over the place. So I don't know if that's anything to worry about. I shouldn't have thought so. When you're 3-0 up, you probably are going to naturally switch off a bit naturally. But obviously you don't want to do that when it gets towards the end of the season, because then you can get into a habit like that and then anything can happen from there. So the next game was obviously Arsenal, who faced West Ham United, and really they had a very similar start. There was, for Arsenal's first goal, there was brilliant link-up play from Arsenal. This is the type of stuff we've been seeing from them all season. Beautiful link-up play, just going around the team. Then bang, a ball was put across and Jesus ended up finishing it off, putting it in the back of the net. Beautiful team play. 1-0 Arsenal, just what you expect. And then 10 minutes into the game, Martinelli put an absolutely phenomenal ball straight to Odegaard's feet, who then ended up just passing it into the goal, or tapping it into the goal, put Arsenal 2-0 up inside 10 minutes. And then really you just think at this point, just like in the Man City game, Arsenal are in control, 2-0 up inside 10 minutes. They've got this, probably going to be maybe 3-4-0, something like that. However, this game took a bit of a twist because once again it was sloppy defending. Arsenal ended up giving away a penalty which Benrahma stuck away 2-1. I wouldn't have been panicking too much at this point if I was an Arsenal fan. I mean, you're 2-1 in front. There is some time left in the game, but you know, Arsenal have managed to see games like this out. So I would have been very worried when their defending started going all over the place. And then Arsenal got a penalty from a handball from Antonio. Unfortunately, Saka, who stepped up to take the penalty, missed the penalty and he just put it wide. So maybe, just maybe, this is starting to get into Arsenal's head, because usually penalties like that are stuck away. Arsenal all season have been really very, very clutch, very, very, I would say, consistent with things like that. So then, just after half time, a really, really good ball was played into Jarrod Bowen, who stuck it away to make it 2-2. And at this point, you are thinking, oh dear, Arsenal could lose this, because the momentum at this point was with West Ham. So for the rest of the game, Arsenal's defence looked really, really shaky. They looked like they were in trouble, to be honest. And then the match ended up being a 2-2 draw. So honestly, I think Arsenal were quite lucky to get away with a draw. They did look shaky. When it was made to be 2-2, they seemed like they panicked a bit. So I don't think Arsenal have been exposed. I just think they had a bad game. And so with those two results, what does this change about the title race? Well, obviously, first of all, it puts Manchester City closer to Arsenal. They are 4 points behind, but Man City do have that game in hand. This being said, a lot more pressure is put on Arsenal because of that game in hand. If Manchester City win that game in hand, they are a point behind them. I think at some point, because Manchester City are playing in the FA Cup semi-final, Arsenal might end up having 2 games in hand on them, because City aren't playing this week and Arsenal are. So Arsenal could go 7 points clear, but then again, what you've got to remember, 2 games in hand, plus Arsenal are playing Man City, not this week, the next week. So the 26th, I think it is, Arsenal playing Man City. And speaking of that game, the Manchester City-Arsenal game, it means a hell of a lot more now, because this could really decide the title, who gets the title, and really the momentum going into the last several games of the season will be with the team that wins that game, if there is a winner. If it's a draw, then there is still a lot to play for. So really, that game, I do think, will decide the title, like just flat out. So that Man City Arsenal game is most likely going to be the biggest game of the season for both teams now, because both teams will want that momentum going into the final few games of the season, and I think it will also show a lot about Arsenal as well. So really, on the 26th, it's going to be a very, very interesting day, and when these two teams meet, I think it will be a good game. Hopefully it is a good game. And this title race just got a lot more interesting. So down in the comments, let me know what you think about the title race now. Who do you think is going to win? Do you think it will be close? Do you think Arsenal will run away with it? Do you think Man City will beat Arsenal and then run away with it? Let me know what you think down in the comments. If you like the video, leave a like. And thank you for listening. I will see you in the next video.